Hello, welcome my Food Mood friends, Chandra Zas Zen Odyssey. I want to talk about doggy gut health today.
Welcome! Here is your hostess and coach, Chandra Zas, helping people make food and mood changes doable without missing out. Go ahead, high five that like button, subscribe and share while you're there.
So I have a really cool story. All my clients are my favorite clients, but one of my clients came to me last week and she's like, I was listening to your podcast and I heard you talking about my dog and I wanted to give you an update. And so the backstory is that she and maybe I'll start with the actual juice of the story. So here's what she told me in our session, and then I'll give you the backstory. So she says, so I want to give you an update. My dog has, which you should know that she was believing that her dog was not going to make it past this last spring. And she really felt that, I see dog poop on the ground next to me. Dogs and poop. This is where we're going with this. She says, I didn't think my dog was going to make it past this last spring. And she seems to have turned a corner and has this whole new amount of energy, amount of health, amount of life in a surprising way. And so she said, I just wanted to let you know that my dog, we had even spent some time talking about, the emotions around grieving and loss and death. We had really gone to that place. And so she said, it's like this big surprise that now he's doing well. And she said, but the really cool piece is that he went to the vet. I'm actually not sure if it's a he or she. The dog went to the vet. And I think that they had a surgery or something. And she said, they gave him he had to spend the night in the vet, and they gave him some food, dog food. And he not only turned away the food, he covered it with a blanket and refused to eat the food that they gave him in the kennel or in the vet place. And she said, and what's even more interesting about this story is she said it's a rescue dog who was obsessed with food and would eat anything and everything that the dog could. Amazing story. So here's what's really interesting about this story. Hello, my friend. How are you? I'm in the Dead Sea, floating in the water. Go ahead and like and share and follow so we can keep in touch. Is when before she and I started working together, we were emailing, and I think something had come up about her dog, that she had to take care of her dog. And so I kind of chimed in and I said, well, if your dog's health is having a hard time, then I wonder what your dog is eating. And I shared my story of my dog who passed away from cancer a couple of years ago, 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago now. And, I had this really huge aha moment with our dog as she was passing. Our dog was in Israel and we had gone to go visit. We had given our dog to my husband's mom to take care of her and be with her. And we arrived at a time where our dog was quite sick and was really obviously towards the end of her life. And we took her to an alternative vet. I believe it was a Chinese medicine vet, and who had actually studied in California, so she spoke great English and we got to talk a lot. And she said something profound and super simple. She shared with me about how when we're giving our dogs processed foods, we're basically killing our dogs. They're the amount of, she said, and we were like, oh, but we're buying the most expensive. She says, it doesn't matter if you're buying the most expensive dog food, that we're still giving them processed food. And she said, she told us what she suggests, which is basically a whole food, healthy diet, like humans, I know from a gut health perspective and from someone who has healed their own health issues with food, I know how important food is, and I hadn't made the connection with dogs. And so when she made this connection with dogs and really for me drove home how important it is to anybody's health, including a dog's body's health, of what we eat, it just light bulbs and everything went off. I mean, we loved our dog so much and we were giving her the best that we thought we could, and we were giving her processed food. She was eating processed food. And so we started feeding her in her last month of her life, we started feeding her. This vet had sold meat that was it was like a slightly cheaper than the expensive dog food we had been buying her. It was like 100, depending on the dog's weight, 100 grams of meat, and then cooked vegetables. And we gave her a turmeric paste with coconut oil, and you could see, I mean, she even on her last month, she like looked more healthy and more alive than she had in a long time. And so for my partner and I mean, we're foodies, and we're all about, like, food is the last expense we cut. Like, having high quality, organic, whole food is the most important thing for our own functioning, for our health, for our brain functioning. But this experience with our dog really led to understanding that next time we get a dog, which hopefully will be sometime soon, we're gonna give our dog a whole food diet just like we eat. Maybe not exactly like we eat, but really, really close. Not a processed, packaged dog food diet. And so because we had this experience, and this now client, before potential client, had shared with me about her dog, and she was interested in gut health, so I knew she was interested in, learning about health and the gut and food. So I shared with her my little story and what I would do, just as free advice. Like, I wasn't even, at that point, I didn't know we were going to work together or not, but I had this emotional connection to how important it is that our dogs get really good food, like I coach my clients on, and like I practice myself, and like I've done with my little one, is like really investing in high quality, organic, whole food. And I'm not talking about Whole Foods, the expensive store. I'm talking about fruits and vegetables that don't have sprays, non-packaged foods, or as little as packaged foods as possible, to really feed our body and our dogs' bodies. And so she took my advice. It was just an email. It was very simple. She changed her dog's diet, and her dog's health is totally turned around. And the insanely cool part that I just have told many people this story because it's just so cool, that the dogs like so this is what I do with my clients in my program is give them a challenge to do a food reset, and feel the difference in our body, what it feels like to eat high vibrational food, like food that is actually nourishing our body, food that's not creating more toxins, not creating more work for our body. Just give yourself the experience of feeling it, and then I like, everybody falls in love with that vibration of feeling good, feeling alive, feeling light, feeling energetic. And so to have this dog turn down dog food in the vet and saying, like, I don't want this. Like, I know, I mean, this is me obviously like guessing what the dog is going in his head, but he's like, I know that this food doesn't make me feel good. I know that when I'm going home, I'm going to get food that makes me feel amazing. And this is the point that every one of my clients comes to after the food reset, where they're just like, oh my gosh, like, it's not because because I think I should eat healthy, or because I think I have to eat this way. It's because I love how I feel when I eat this way. And it's a game changer in our relationship to food. And so for this little dog to do this, I just think it's the coolest story and really important to share. And, I want to tag in here that, like, my little one, she is now 4.5. She's getting bigger and bigger by the day. And she often will have, one of my big philosophies is never say never. Like, I don't believe in restriction. I don't believe in like deprivation or like hard never say never. So when we're out with people, when there's situations where she's offered processed food, sugar, flour, like, I let her make the choice. I say, at home we don't offer it, but when it's out there, I let her make the choice. And sometimes she says yes, and sometimes she has some. And oftentimes she doesn't feel good, and so we talk about it. And oftentimes she declines. She herself says, no, thank you. Like, I don't want that. Like, that is the true relationship with food and our body, and our awareness of what food does to us, connecting the dots, and really understanding the importance of what we're putting in our mouth and how much it affects our health, our physical health, our mental health, our brain health, our brain power. And once we really connect those dots, it becomes a really different set of choices, becomes a different set of different operational system when it comes to food choices and food priorities. So if you have a dog, but also for your own gut health, like, I just really encourage you to think about what you're putting in your mouth and how it's affecting your body, and plant the small seed that you may not even know how good you could feel if you ate food and really treated food as fuel and as medicine for your body, as one of the most important things that, I think the two most important things we're putting in our body is food and the thoughts that we're thinking, because our thoughts create our feelings and our food creates our health. So that's the dog story I have today, and I think it's a really, really cool story that's worth sharing. Whoop, my camera almost started falling. And have a beautiful day, and yeah, think about what you're eating and think about how it's affecting you, and know that it's possible to totally remake over your relationship with food and really actually give your body the chance to heal and thrive. All right, I love you. See you next time.